On from his Substack, Morning Combat, live chat, and so much more. LT Luke Thomas, welcome to the program, man. Woo! It's good to have you.
What's the weather in Australia right now?
Melbourne's kind of coldish. It's about 18 degrees Celsius. I'm not sure what that is in Fahrenheit.
I don't know. I only use the metric system in the military, so I don't know. But let's actually check. 18 Celsius to Fahrenheit. It is. Let's see.
Not bad.
64. Yeah, that's pretty nice. It's pretty nice.
Well, what's it over there, man? What's it over there in Washington?
It's about like that. It's October, which in the East Coast is the absolute northeast. Well, mid Atlantic to northeast is the absolute king of seasons, brother. That's when it's like 60 outside, a little cold at night, but it's breezy. The golden hour looks beautiful. The leaves are falling. I'm not a big pumpkin beer guy, but if you are, it's the time. It's the pumpkin spice lattes at Starbucks. It's Halloween. Oh, October is the king of months. Absolutely.
Are you a Halloween guy, LT?
If you have kids, you have to be.
It's true. I mean, they have Halloween here in Australia now. Even I'm going trick-or-treating with my kid.
How old's yours?
October. He's 3.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, this is the perfect time. Yeah. Dude, are you kidding? My daughter comes home every day from school, and it's like, here's what we're gonna do for Halloween. She made friends with another kid at her gymnastics class. Your viewers, I'm sure, very much care about this. And then lastly, I'll just say this: we have to do like they because they hit it off. Now we have to do and they're good people, but now we have to do like a big party, and we all have to play a role in the universe of costumes that we're all inhibiting. It's quite the experience. Yeah.
You're wearing a costume?
I'm going as Genu from K-pop Demon Hunters.
Oh my God. Genu?
Yeah.
Genu. I got to bring this up. What does this even look like?
Well, there's 2 versions of him. There's one as a demon and one as a boy band. I'm not doing the boy band version. I'm doing the demon version.
Is this it? Hold on. Let me bring it up. I just want to double check for everybody. And are we going to get photos on social media?
Yeah, probably.
Is this it? Is this it?
Yes, that is it. With the what they call patterns on his face. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Not this one.
No, not that one. Not that one.
Dude, good on you, dude. We'll do anything for our kids during Halloween. I've done some stuff as well, so it's going to be awesome, bro. Hey, speaking of people who aren't really dressing up or maybe getting ready to defend their title anytime too soon, or hopefully it's going to be around the corner next year. Khamzat Chimaev did an interview just the other day and sort of spoke about his intentions or hope to potentially fight Alex Pereira. He said, if you ask me, of course, I would love to fight for a second belt. It's no secret. The guy who's got the belt at 205 pounds is a very good matchup for me. So he's basically saying he's still kind of hoping that this fight happens for him. What do you make of Khamzat trying to bring this thing into reality? Do you think that he's just being hopeful here, trying to bring it into reality with sort of maybe not the biggest matchups for him in his own division? What do you think? Or do you think it's the fact that it's the matchup, the fact that Alex Pereira is such a good matchup for him that makes it?
I'm not even opposed to the idea that the matchup would favor Khamzat, at least in certain ways that are obvious to your viewers. But it's like, who cares? You haven't even defended the title 1 time. Like, what are we talking about here? Look at Pantoja. He's going for his 5th defense. Merab is 4th. And they haven't moved up yet. Like, this is such an absurd thing to say, especially at middleweight right now where, I mean, okay, I don't know if all of the contenders are going to emerge. We'll see what happens with RDR this weekend or whatever. But, like, geez, man, this seems insanely premature. And by the time it is even relevant, who knows if Poatan will be in MMA or at light heavyweight at all.
It's crazy, like you said, Merab's fighting for a 4th time, and here we are. We don't even know what's going to happen with Khamzat in this first title defense. You mentioned RDR. If this weekend he goes out there and makes a statement win against Brendan Allen, I mean, we've all spoken about how interesting an RDR-Khamzat fight could be. Do you think he could take Imavov's spot here and potentially sneak in for a title shot, or do you think it'll still be one more for RDR, even if he does put on a devastating knockout win or whatever?
I think if he puts on a really strong performance with a finish, I absolutely think he leapfrogs, Imavov. If it's something more akin to what we got with the Whitaker fight, that's a little bit of a different story. I mean, the basic reality is I don't think anyone believes that Imavov has it on lock, including Imavov himself, And certainly the UFC has not indicated that. They have not said that. They have not in any way kind of been like, okay, that's the guy. I think they're kind of leaving it open-ended, even with the fallout of Fluffy Hernandez. But I still think that the run that RDR is on in 2024, this will be his 4th fight, right? Of course, Merab will have his 4th. Josh Van will have his 4th in that 323 card. You know, you're getting guys who are really putting together hot runs and trying to make a big push. I think that they would reward that. Cutting weight 4 times in a year like that, that's a lot for RDR. Remember, he fought at 205. Actually, he fought higher than that too, but he fought at 205. You know, this is a big cut. He's doing it 4 times, and he's doing it anywhere they ask him to go. I tend to think if you can give them enough of a reason with that as your context, they'll reward it.
Yeah, and also I think they're looking for people they can get behind if they become champion, right? Like if you have RDR, you know, if he's always going to be willing to step up, defend his belt, kind of like Dricus was doing, it's always a good position to be in on Merab or Pantoja, guys that you can kind of depend on as we go into this Paramount era. Whereas some other guys, you know, all due respect to him, like Khamzat, that might be like a once a year title defense, which sort of does put things into a little bit of a halt here and there. With RDR, though, I mean, we've got him in the division, but obviously Sean Strickland is trying to angle for this fight with Fluffy Hernandez. Imavov is in the division. Do you see a scenario here where someone could sneak in? Like if Sean Strickland fights Hernandez next, let's say in January, there's a real possibility here. It's a Sean Strickland versus Khamzat fight towards the middle of next year.
As there should be. You know, I'm not a Sean Strickland fan in the sense of like, oh, I need to see him get a title shot. That's really not the way that I think. But just realistically understanding, again, now with pay-per-views no longer being pay-per-views, that changes the equation to a degree. But nevertheless, they're going to want to put in the kinds of things that gets the public excited as just a general prop. I mean, I'm assuming that's what they're going to want to do. And the Sean Strickland and Khamzat one has beef and rivalry in a genuine, real way. Plus, as you know, the backstory, I'm sure all your viewers do as well, they train together and that they have contrasting stories of how those went. But nevertheless, they do both admit they have a degree of familiarity with the other. Like, and Sean is going to do insane things. Like, this is, in the kind of world we live in now, this is extremely important for them. So I absolutely think there's a way where Sean Strickland can leapfrog everybody. Now, he may not get the next one, but he might get the one after that. You know what I mean? Like, he could even get, I mean, again, anything is possible with that. I just feel like if I had a pecking order, I'd put 1A RDR if he wins, 1B Imavov, 2 Strickland, but they're all pretty close, and one little thing or the other can change this equation pretty fast. Strickland in a world where he beats Fluffy Hernandez.
All right, guys, I just want to thank Manscaped for bringing you this content and supporting Submission Radio. Of course, you guys could go to Manscaped right now, use the code word submission for 15% off your entire order at manscaped.com. And I'm talking about the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. The white hot version isn't just another pretty face. It's built to handle your most sensitive areas with care, helping reduce the risk of nicks, cuts, and irritation where it matters most. Whether you're cleaning things up for a date, a trip, or just to feel a bit more put together, the white hot trimmer makes below the waist grooming a whole lot smoother with a clean white and gold finish that just looks as good as it shaves. Join the over 12 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped now. Use the code word submission, 15% off. It's one of the best looking trimmers out there. And of course, go on the website right now. They have all sorts of great products you could apply the discount code to, from the bead hedger to the weed whacker to the most comfortable underwear and t-shirts. Manscaped has you sorted. Again, the white hot 5.0 Ultra brings the heat without cooking your skin. If you don't have one today, why not get the white hot 5.0 Ultra today? It brings the heat without cooking your skin. It's sleek, it's easy to use, way less terrifying than whatever you were using before. Use the code word submission, 15% off and free shipping. That's code word submission, 15% off and free shipping, and you're supporting yourself and the program. Go do it today. And now back to the program.
Obviously.
Imagine a Strickland RDR fight. What the hell would that even look like? That would just be two guys moving forward at each other.
Yeah.
It might be like a little bit Dricus, Sean Strickland-ish, maybe. I don't know. But
well, Sean Strickland will also, remember, he'll peel out head first. You know, he'll do a lot of exiting, so he could play on the back foot too.
we've never spoken about Sean Strickland as a challenge for Khamzat. Do you see him as someone that can actually beat Khamzat?
I'm willing to entertain the possibility. I mean, you're asking me to make a definitive conclusion with not a sufficient basis of information to make one. I could make one just for like podcasting sake, but I typically.
He's been in there with Khamzat in the training room. I think
that
that's
doesn't
a big advantage, don't you think?
that I don't want to downplay the significance of that, but like we don't know what that means. We don't know, how much better has Khamzat gotten since then. Certainly, Strickland, I'm sure, has gotten better to a degree as well too. But Khamzat, I think, is still more surging on the up relative to Strickland, who already became champion, is now trying to hover around that place. They, I mean, it's hard to explain. Like, you can train with people who are much worse and much better than you. You can beat the people in individual sparring sessions or training sessions who you're better than. You can lose to people who are much worse than you because you decide to fight a certain way, or the coach has you work on a certain drill. And someone could look at video of that and they could be like, wow, this guy's really getting the better of the other one. I can't believe that for whatever reason in either of those scenarios. And neither represents the truth. They were fighting or they were training in a way that they made it look like one guy had an advantage when they absolutely didn't. That is very, very common. I'm not saying we have video footage, nor are they like pointing to one particular piece of video footage. I'm simply making it as an illustration. Like, what is the significance of training with another person? It can be quite a bit. I'm not here to tell you it means nothing. But when people say, I trained with him and years have gone by and we don't know what kind of training it was, and we just have their word of mouth, my caution to you and your audience would be real. Take that with a grain of salt. It's not irrelevant, but you can't rely on that as like, oh, well, that means a lot. It may, in fact, mean nothing at all.
Those training sessions would have been interesting. Sean Strickland doesn't exactly hold back, and neither does Khamzat. But I guess from Sean Strickland's perspective, you get to see at least how strong is Khamzat, all that kind of stuff. All the variables that people don't realize till they're in there with him. But then for Khamzat, you can pick up a lot about Sean Strickland's game, which hasn't really changed too much since those training sessions as well. So benefits on both sides. Speaking guys that love to train, I mean, John Wood told me this guy does 10 rounds of live sparring on his fight day, Merab, that is. Does 10 rounds of live sparring on his fight day, does 5, another 5, and then goes out there and fights. He's fighting, obviously, again in December. I got to ask you, Luke, man, him and Pantoja on the same card. If he gets past Jan here, you and me will be talking about Umar in just a second. But we're not probably that far off from Merab doing these super fights, right? Maybe him and Pantoja, him and, I don't know about Volkanovski, but I mean, it's coming to a point where he's going to be lapsing the division again. John Wood says he wants to fight 5 times next year if possible.
Let him cook. Let him cook. We're not going to get many years like this in the history of MMA. Let him cook. If you look at the other years that someone did something really remarkable in a calendar year, it's Jones 2011. And then it's Shogun 2005. And Jones had 4 wins, all via stoppage, and it got a belt and defended it twice. It's pretty good. And beat the number 1 contender. So beats number 1 contender, beats champion, and then beats 2 title contenders all in the same year. It's quite remarkable. And then Shogun had 5, one of which was not that great, but then he had 2 on the same night, Arona and Overeem. And then, of course, he beat Little Nog and others. So, like, that's like real good. That's really, really good. That's what Merab is attempting is in concert with that. But he is, I've said it before, man, I don't know what it is that he's got. Nothing ever seems to tax his central nervous system. He has apparently no level of labor that he can't perform that he needs to in a 25-minute fight. And that used to be the thing that was like the most impressive part of his game. And now it's the glue that I think that holds his game together. But as you've indicated, he's got this development in every other place. Takedown defense against Umar, you saw that. He was lighting Corey up on the feet in round 2. He submits Sean O'Malley. Now he's adding sort of technical finesse to the whole thing, and that is just a devastating combo. I don't know who can deal with it. So my view is, I like what John Wood had to say. Dude, if he's healthy and he can get out there, and Merab, you kind of have to protect him from himself a little bit if you're the commission, But in general, if you can meet some basic criteria out there, let him cook. Let him go. Let's see how far he can ride this.
Yeah, and he doesn't drug and he doesn't drink. And for people that don't know much about it, when
Can
you
you
become a
imagine how
champ,
boring that is?
well, it's a different life, dude, but it keeps you in shape. By the way, that John Jones run, Machida,
Yeah,
Jackson,
I mean that was
Shogun,
insane. And you
Vader,
look at
unbelievable.
go back real quick. Go back look at the dates. So February, then the next
It's
month he takes the title. Then he waits a few months, and then at the end of the year he closes it out by dropping Machida straight onto his face.
By the way, one of
Yeah,
the most brutal finish, like one of the most
iconic.
iconic, unbelievable.
Yeah.
We give him a lot of shit, but the guy has had an incredible career. By the way, between those super fights, Pantoja and Volkanovski, what would you like to see? Like, what would you be more interested in seeing Merab have?
I mean, I guess we'll have to see how things go against Josh Van, you know.
Mm.
The one that everyone's been talking about more is Pantoja and him. But the longer I think about it, it's actually Volk. I don't know if there's any market appetite for it. So I'm not, oh, people would love it. It would do gangbusters. I have no idea if people would want it. But with his ability to labor and then force these people into his offensive cycles against a guy who's a master at avoiding that kind of a thing up a weight class, granted, it's a tough challenge, but just I'm saying, like, you know, Merab's doing amazing things. I don't know. That might be the more interesting challenge. It just feels like Pantoja might be the one who you would want to put in a super fight, and he would have nowhere to go because you obviously couldn't put him against Volkanovski. You're not going to leapfrog 2 weight classes, and then at the same time, what are you going to do? You're going to fight women? He's not Andy Kaufman, so you're just left with Merab in that case, which would be great. Dude, if they would, I mean, listen, if they made either of them, it'd be pretty cool. But for some reason, I get the inkling that Merab versus Volk is. I would still favor Volk, obviously, but I like that fight actually.
Yeah, that would be a sick fight. It's just Volk's got so many fights. I think Pantoja at least is in the same position, goes through Van, doesn't have that many fights. But then for Merab, I guess it's not as fun to defend against someone moving up. Would be more fun for him to move up.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see what happens. Speaking of people moving up, you know, we're not far off this Islam Makhachev JDM welterweight title fight. What about the gym over there in Scrappy MMA Perth, man? Royalty people all over there. Have a look at this. Craig Jones and Alex Volkanovski in the house with JDM, prepping him for this fight with Islam Makhachev. More footage right there. Look at the wealth of knowledge just sitting there on the mat. And there's also his brother down there. And Ben Vickers, his coach, sitting there as well on the floor at Scrappy MMA. Pretty elite team of people training together right there, Luke. How important do you think having an Alex Volkanovski, a Craig Jones for this amount of time for JDM is going into this huge fight with Islam Makhachev?
I am so excited for this fight. I mean, it's so funny too to listen to the fans because they both both sides of the fandom I know you're in Australia, but I just feel like both sides of the fandom are so convincing, you know? Like, listen to your point, right? Let's start on this side. You got JDM as your point, like already proven, like the levels he already raised himself to get to the Bilal fight was already impressive, right? Even that alone was special. And now he's of course taking on a much more difficult challenge, at least we think. But he's got now this like wealth of knowledge around him, both the people he's come up with and, you know, adding some pieces. The Craig Jones component is absolutely fucking pivotal. Craig has, I mean, done so much work to change how I view jiu-jitsu, has done so much work on Islam in particular, has done so much work on Islam with Volk, who fought him twice. And obviously the first fight much more important and relevant than the second, but, you know, certainly has experience with him in many, many grappling contexts, what he feels like, what he does, blah, blah, blah. Dude, they're going to have this fucking guy prepared. I believe that, dude. I don't think Islam's going to just walk over him. Even if Islam wins, he ain't going to just walk over him. And obviously he might get viciously put out by a guy who is just like doing all the things that you would need him to do, right? And then some. And then on the other side, you've got Islam, who might be and probably is, you know, certainly was the best fighter in the sport, who's now attempting up a weight class. And I don't know if did you see this video that Mike Bond did? He interviewed Punahele Soriano. Did you see this?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's like fighting at like middleweight now. And he was training one time. This was during COVID and the pandemic. And he had to like he had no one to train with, so he trained with Islam, and he was like, Islam didn't savagely beat him like in a way where he had to go to the hospital, but in terms of like training, by Soriano's own admission, he got ragdolled. Like he was like, I couldn't do anything to him. Like he did whatever he wanted. It was insane. And that was a time when he was firmly a lightweight, I mean, it's just absurd what he can do. He doesn't make hardly any mistakes. He is super sound defensively. He is super well-rounded offensively. He comes from, maybe the most successful team in the history of the sport. I mean, like, what is there not to like about this fight? Except that they don't trash talk each other a lot. Okay, fine, whatever. But as a fight, it just doesn't get better than this.
Dude, it's such a good fight, and Islam is looking absolutely massive. I don't know if people saw the photos, but the fact that he's let his body go a little bit. I mean, this guy's been on an extreme diet basically his entire life. I wonder what he's going to look like. It's going to be insane. And they're taking JDM very seriously. Khabib and that team, they think JDM is a very, very serious fight for them. So,
and also, yeah, you got Volk in your camp. You got Craig Jones in your camp. If you don't take him seriously, it's curtains for you. Like the person who cuts, I mean, I don't think either of them will. Like whoever wins, it's not going to come down to this. But let me just be, I mean, whoever cut corners in this camp or didn't take the threat of the other one seriously is going to pay with it dearly on fight night. Like you cannot afford, Trevor Whitman has talked about this. He's like, honestly, at this level of the game, the first one to make a mistake is the one who will lose. And I think that is right. I think the first person to make a mistake here is really going to pay for it. Some mistakes are more fatal than others, obviously, but this is one of those fights where, dude, your game needs to be buttoned up.